telling you. Hey guys, what's up today? We're gonna be looking at some old time rap. Actually, not that old. Some new B.o.B with his brand spanking new album, The Upside Down. The name is probably referring to Stranger Things, I'm guessing, or I don't know, one of his crazy conspiracies. On Instagram, he called it the world's first Instagram album, which I kind of find hard to believe because I don't really know what that means, to be honest. I mean, in one case, it's not like he only released it on Instagram. I listen to it on Spotify. That's where I am listening to it. So it's kind of like, that can't be it. So is he saying he's the first person to ever have an entire album on Spotify or Instagram? I kind of doubt that either, because I'm sure there's tons of smaller artists that are trying to advertise themselves everywhere, and so they kind of just did that. I mean, hell, I see like high school friends that post their music on Instagram. I'm sure it's been done. When I think personally what would be an Instagram album, I think maybe like songs that are under 3 minutes, and this kind of fits that, but also it's been done before. I mean, XXX just did it last year. Into the meat though, the beats complement B.o.B's voice like flawlessly. Like, these are the defined version of if you could have his voice and sound, his voice and an instrumental, this album would perfectly compare to that. And additionally, him and one other producer produced all of them, so obviously he knows what's best for himself. Like I just mentioned with the XXX, he kind of has the shorter songs, but that's also kind of the downfall of the album, is how like the XXX album, for example, for the many that I've heard it, it's also short. It's like a lot of the times when you're really starting to get into the song, the outro starts. It's just like, oh shit. So you never really get the chance. Like, it takes 2 listens to really get into the song, but nobody really wants to listen to the same thing twice a lot of the time. But going in a little background on B.o.B, if you haven't been in the know with him, you should probably know that he's a flat earther. I believe that's kind of the reason he's kind of fallen off over the last several years, since pretty much his last hit, Headbands. He's come out with like several mixtapes and an album last year, which was, I believe, his last release, called Ether, and really nothing has really taken off at all. And coincidentally, his career started plummeting right around when he announced that he was a flat earther, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was the reason, because it's definitely not his music. Although it may sound nice on the lyrical side, it's a bit nuts. He repeatedly refers to his conspiracies on B.o.B, which again sounds very nice sonically and with his voice, but lyrically he really just I have no clue. He says so many odd things. It's just almost unbearable. But there is one part that I kind of get out of it, that I kind of respect, that what he says. I don't have the words in front of me right now. They weren't on Genius or anything, and I can't be bothered to listen and write them down. But it went along the lines of, you have to, instead of judging him for what he believes in, you should be happy for what you believe in, and just support yourself instead of trying to drag him down and prove what he believes. And I kind of respect that to a degree. I mean, if he wants to believe what he wants to believe, and obviously people have tried to convince him. He had that beef with Neil deGrasse Tyson that was pretty goofy a while back. If that didn't convince him, I'm not sure what people on the internet could. Now back to B.o.B. The song For the Damaged Coda by Blonde Redhead is actually sampled. And just off of hearing that name, it might not really ring any bells. But if you're a Rick and Morty fan, it is actually used in there quite oftenly, I believe more than in one episode. And it's kind of like, I wouldn't say a highlight in the show, because obviously I don't remember what part it is from the show, but it's kind of like a really nice instrumental that kind of goes with the heavier parts of the show. And it's kind of ironic that B.o.B is using it in this song, considering how Rick and Morty is so like trying to destroy idiots, and this is more kind of B.o.B's being kind of an idiot. And like I said, it really sounds very nice over everything, but just little bits here and there is really what are the drags on the album. But the major issue on the album is there being a lack of or too much repetition. Now obviously you don't like need a chorus to make a song or something with repetition, but the way the song sounds and how it's laid out is one that would resemble a song that would have a pretty pretty normal song format of like 2 or 3 verses and 2 or 3 choruses. However, on many songs he just repeats the same words too many times, like on B.o.B verse, which I've been talking about so much already. But he just says bones don't turn into oil over and over and over. On Food Fight, it's not more so just one phrase, it's like 2 or 3 phrases that he just kind of slams the listener with that really kill the addictiveness of the song. And then on Digiworld, he has instead of having like a too much repetition in the chorus, the pre-chorus actually has too much repetition that kind of kills the build up to the chorus, and then the chorus is like 1/3 as long and is like not doesn't really fit right with it. There are moments though where it all does come together properly and all the stars align. Like on Creme de la Creme, the background vocals on that thing are just insane, along with B.o.B's regular voice, and just the verses and the flows are just slick as hell. It all just sounds pretty damn good. Is It War is the other track that I'm pretty well favorable towards, and it to be honest, it's just a really well-rounded rap track. The short singing chorus next to this kind of chime kind of plays well and then transitions into this poppy piano while B.o.B raps, kind of plays really well bouncing back and forth out of each other, and really makes for a great track. He does fall into that repetition in this track, but he does kind of get out of it, so it's not like dragging you down as a listener. It's like a normal amount. To sum it up in one sentence, it's a very nicely made album that really sounds nice, but is more drugged down by the length and the laziness with the lyricism. I'm going to go ahead and give this a 6, just for the creation or the creativeness of the album, and how B.o.B's kind of like willing to say what he really thinks, even if he knows people aren't really going to respect it or like it at all, and or when he does actually say something. So let me know what you guys thought of the album and the review in the comments below, and what I should check out next. See ya. Bye.